way it kind of blew up on social media, on YouTube, getting the instant feedback from people who were calling and messaging, I think it was very heartening. I think from the first promo, obviously, from the trailer, it just blew our mind the way it kind of blew up on social media, on YouTube, getting the instant feedback from people who were calling and messaging. I think it was very heartening because here was a film, you see the content there, and you see a film that brings out the emotions with that romance, and it's not not the superficial kind of zone. We've tried to hit a very real key with it. I think, so far so good. Even to the music has been sensational. From the first promo of Hamari Adhuri Kahani to Humnava to Hasi, it's just been, piping hot. So just fingers crossed.
For me, I think my acid test as such was the three people who are over here who have been connected with this film and understand where this film comes from, and to justice to this script and this film in 2.5 minutes was a really difficult task. And I think it wasn't some outside agency, but my own editor with his own team who could actually cut this because he knew and understood this film. But I think for me it was essentially the reactions that these three people first gave, and I think that's what makes, we are in the end people connected to the film, but somehow we are the most critical about it. And I remember when I was worried about it, I remember Imran telling me that even though he just recently didn't have a successful film, him telling me that, why are you worried? You've got the look right, you've got the song right, you've got the trailer right. I had a body reaction of tears at the end of the film, and that was unanimous with even Vidya, who I was actually afraid when I was showing her the trailer and the dub for her to watch it again without a reaction and then turn back and hug me and say, this is so nice, with tears in eyes. I guess then there only, I think the rest, and so did him, call me up ecstatic from the dub when he saw it, and I said, I have no other words but to say thank you for me being a part of this film. I guess this is the kind of conversations that we've made this film at the kind of level, and that's the kind of response I think the people commenting on it. I've never seen so many likes on a trailer. They might not have any hits, but I've never had such a great percentage of likes in any of my films before, and the comments are more than heartwarming.
I know how I felt when I first watched the trailer, and I really was moved. And I was surprised by the fact that I was moved because I'm so close to the film, and when you're watching yourself, you're critical most of the time. But I loved the trailer, and I did go and hug Mohit, and I said, oh my God, this is so beautiful. So I wasn't surprised by the reactions of people, but I will say that what's very satisfying is when people say, I keep watching the trailer because it stirs something in me. We keep listening to the songs. It's just amazing how this has cut across all age groups of people. For a love story, I think it says a lot, because a love story just works instantly or then it doesn't, and I think this one has from the word go.
I haven't seen or heard a love story like this in a long while. I think Aashiqui was one of its kind, I think, and that's why it stood out, is because, and nothing against them, but I think of late the concept of love has been, we've become a pain-shirking kind of society, and we somehow don't embrace the kind of feelings that we all feel, and we escape to watch the floss and the frost which we see. But there's also some people who have the feeling of crying or have an emotional experience, and that's what I think love should be also. It's not all just fun and games at times. So I think true love, and the one thing that stayed with me, true love I think comes after the romance has died out, when you have to stand by a relationship. That's true love, and I think that's something I tasted a bit in Aashiqui, and I think it was after that when it was Vidya pushing it, and then Bhatt Saab coming to me and saying that I think now there is a director and the time is right for the kind of films I used to write, and would you direct a film for me? I think that was, what else can you ask for? That was like completely all that I required. A 5-minute of an idea narration, which was more a formality, because I knew the space that he was coming from would only be explosive. So after 1 year, you have a great script and the best cast that I could ask for, and that was what attracted me to the movie.
It actually is a departure. It's I know I might have touched upon romance and a certain intensity and angst-ridden characters in some films, but I've never been part of a full-blown mature love story that has different layers in the character, in the feelings, in the emotions. For me, and I keep going back to this, I think actors, after being in the industry for almost 12 years now, what you look for in the roles that you do is always a reflection of what is there in your life. I guess the reason why I was choosing more kind of these rakish, rebellious characters is because there was a certain rebellion in me that needed an expression on screen. So subconsciously, I was picking up material which was reflecting that. There is a time in your life when you have a mature concern, when it might be, this is how things change. I mean, it could be marriage, it could be your first child, it could be death, it could be any of these things that change your concerns, and for any actor and creative person that has to reflect on cinema and on screen. So when I had incidences in my life that took place 3-4 years, since then I've wanted to touch upon something real in a film, went to that emotion in that space, and what better way in a film like this. And when it came my way, it was a godsend, and then I realized how therapeutic it could be to kind of tap that and connect with that and put it out there on screen. So I think in that sense, I'm spoiled by choice now. Once I've played a role like this, I know it'd be very tough to get a similar character or touch the same emotions in any other film, but I'm hopeful that I get another script which is more layered, has real emotions like Hamari Adhuri Kahani.
Not really. It has been an intense experience, but I love the fact that, it is so intense, because in our lives, I think we go through a lot of moments or situations which challenge us emotionally on a day-to-day basis. For the first time on screen, I think I've had this kind of an emotional graph. I've had the good fortune to play a lot of wonderful characters, but I think this graph it's also more mature than most of the films we see today. So it's very, very satisfying to have done a character like this in a film like this.
But it was quite difficult for me to play Hari. It's something I was not very comfortable playing it. But then I think with these guys, with their understanding, I could just do it, whatever I did. Because the character goes through a lot. There's a lot happening in his life, and he has a certain maturity level which as Rajkumar, I don't have it. But then I think we had a lot of discussions about the scenes, about the character, and we had some reading sessions. And from those sessions, I think I could figure out so many ways to approach the part. On a personal level, when I go back home after my shoot, no, they don't. Maybe subconsciously they are with me still, but not really. But yeah, it's a toll on your mental level when you're doing that scene, especially this film. There are so many intense moments in this film, really hard, very hard emotional moments. But as an actor, that's the fun part. I really enjoy, challenging myself as an actor to push myself to little further extra mile. Yeah.
Ideally I should have come out of this film feeling drained, because it's such an intense emotional film, but I actually came out feeling fine, probably for the first time. I've sometimes worked on comedies and come out feeling drained, but I think, so when I go back to why this experience was different, I think it was, the credit for that really goes to Mohit. He knows how to handle his actors in a way that they don't feel any sort of pressure, that he's very gently pushing them to actually feel the moment. And at the end of the day, when I go back home, I think over the years I've learned to leave my work back at work. Though, like Rajkumar said, subconsciously I'm sure it's with you, but I think with time you'd learn to draw that fine line between the character you're playing and yourself.
It's been a great association. This is our 8th film together, and my second film, third film, and his first film Zahar was in 2005, and I think it's what started off as, we were newcomers. He was 22, I was 24, and we started off this film where we got great music in that, and it was a decent hit at that point of time. And I think we touched something where we felt that, films which had a certain amount of drama, which had a certain amount of intensity, was our calling as a team. I also always look for that in film scripts whenever I get it. And it's been a pretty decently successful. I think pretty much 90% of our films have raked in and have done well at the box office. And The last was Murder 2, which got tremendous appreciation in box office. For us, it was a very difficult one, this one. It was complete departure from what we had done before. That's why we were both very frightened when we were doing it. More so because Bhatt Sahab had written a script after Zakham. This kind of script of this nature and putting in his heart and soul into it, we just felt that we wanted to match up and kind of own it and make it personal. It was his personal experience, and then we had to somewhere make it our own personal experiences and put it into the film. So hopefully we have succeeded. I mean, that's audience verdict. We'll find out.
I think this film will make you want to fall in love all over again. It will reinstate or reinforce or strengthen your faith in love, which is what I think people want to feel at this point. I know that I wanted to feel like that because we all love love stories, and you don't see love stories anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something about it's dealing with love, which is has a universal language. It goes across caste and creed. In this film, it is a film that digs deep into real emotions, into pain, intensity, that bittersweet feeling that you will feel when you see this film that not many love stories give you. It's very easy to kind of give a very fluffy and rosy picture about a love story, which is the most misleading thing. But this is another kind of happy ending. The film, which it has the pain, it has the angst, it has that intensity, and that I think will really connect with the audience.